Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Major Minor. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's on Steam for free. Anyways, in the last Let's Play, surprisingly little happened for once. We talked with Rook, who told us his life story, or backstory, where he had a mentor who died in an accident that was probably because of the Armstrong incident, and then he reconstructed his mentor on the tablet, and he kind of closed off the world. Or he closed off the world, reconstructed his mentor on the tablet, and asked if we could bring Keela and hopefully his mentor back. And then we met with Shock, who we weren't close enough because we only met never, I think. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to look at the save file because we were close enough with Rook, even though, as far as I remember, we had -1 affection with him. Like, Shock is probably 0. I don't know. Anyways, it looks like I might be getting close to the surface. The air is less stuffy, and I feel a slight breeze. It's nice to get the feel of outside air once more. I turn a corner and notice Inumi standing there. He's writing on a green wall with some chalk. I think we had like 1 affection with him. I look closer. He's doing math. The same equation that saved our lives. Is he trying to figure out how to solve the problem? After all, Acheron gave him the answer earlier. Maybe he wanted to learn it on his own. Hey, such a cute puppy. Also, what's with this music? Hi. I greet him back with a small wave. Ask him what he's up to. Oh, just doing some math. I have an exam coming up soon. I don't want to fail. He seems to be taking his studies seriously. Ask him if he has some time to chat. Also, where did he find chalk but not like a pen and paper? After all, he might be here for a while. Yeah, sure. I have some questions for you, actually. Acheron told me the story about his sister. He said that she had powers, but he said that you two do as well. Does that mean you and Acheron are bad? I laugh, but this makes Inumi look confused. I let him know that having powers doesn't make you bad. It's just what you do with them that decides your allegiance. And in this case, Acheron and I weren't evil. In fact, we were dedicated to bring Max down. I let him know that she'll pay for what she did. I wish it didn't have to be like that. You shouldn't have to make someone pay. Especially not for being bad. The goal should be something different. Like not having bad people at all. Everyone would still be alive in that case. That's true, but it's not so simple. In fact, I know that's not what he really wants. He just wants his brother to be alive again. We can never rid the world of bad intentions. Yeah, sorry, you're right. We always had so much fun together, but now I'll get sent to another home. I really wish I could stay on with the tour. It was finally starting to feel like home. I mean, a real one, with a real family. If only Bro was given the same powers. He's all about saving people, you know? Just like he saved me a few years ago. So he adopted you? What did he mean by get sent to another home? And, for that matter, how did Clay save him? I asked him what he meant by that, out of curiosity. Yay, my bond was strong enough with Inumi. Puts a piece of chalk in his pocket. He looks a little nervous, or hesitant. I promised I'd never tell anybody this. But Sin said I never could. Even Sin said I never could. But I think I can trust you, Dark. Been through a lot, haven't we, you Buppy? We haven't even known each other for long, like maybe 2 days. I really wish you could have met Bro. Me and Clace had a lot in common. Maybe that's why we got along so well. We both lost our parents when we were young, but he had an important life ahead of him. He got caught up in the fame and success, so he didn't have the trouble that I did. When my parents died, I was put in a home. I didn't really have any other family, but I think they rushed to put me there. It was like they wanted to get rid of me. They didn't care who looked after me. My foster parents were really rude to me. There must have been a lot of kids like me. It's like they have to move fast. The government doesn't care about quality. My foster parents ended up getting divorced. I don't think my foster father was happy. He started to take his anger out on me. I had a bunch of old pictures I loved. Pictures of me and my real parents. I even had letters from them too. I didn't develop as fast as I should have, so he practiced writing a lot. I had to learn how to do all the letters. I came home from a walk one night and saw my foster father tearing them apart. "You have to move on," he said to me. But I think he was talking to himself. He must have missed my foster mom. That's the night he got real angry. He started to hit me a lot. He kept telling me it was my fault. Ugh, it's hard to read this. I got between him and his wife, but I knew that wasn't true. They signed up for this program. They knew what they were getting into. That's remarkably extreme. I'm so sorry that he had to go through that. Some people just aren't fit to be parents, right? It'd be nice if, I don't know. I'm just talking as an American here. We had some sort of system where we would teach people, like both A, how to be good parents, and B, how to prevent yourself from becoming a parent, and have options for that. Granted, this is like July 2020. Not sure what things are going to be like when this comes out. I want to hug this puppy. I sighed with him, telling him they did nothing wrong. I ran from him and hid inside that closet. I took his phone and called the police. They came and helped me immediately. Wait, they helped? Huh. They said they'd find me another home, but I was really scared, so I ran away. I didn't want more parents like that. I wanted my real parents back. I took a photo with me when I ran. It was ripped in half, but still fixable. I remember finding myself in a back alley. I was hugging the photo and crying. I cried so much they could barely see. Eventually, someone found me. They asked if I was okay. I said I was, but I was lying. That's the first time I met Bro. He asked me what was wrong. He thought that maybe I was lost. I guess I was, to be honest. But that's not why I was crying. I told him everything that happened. It seemed like he didn't believe me. But it was just because he was shocked. He told me that he knew what I went through. He lost his parents at a young age too. And he'd been moving around the world. He didn't have a real home either. I showed him the picture of my parents. He took one half and just stared at it. Before I knew it, he was crying too. He cried in the alley for a long time. It was like we both had the same wound. I started to hear boo-hooing from somewhere. Booing. And then he told me he was a singer. He missed his show just to talk with me. They were booing since he wasn't there. So he canceled the entire concert just to help Inumi? I don't know if that's noble or irresponsible. Either way, leaving Inumi alone would have been bad. It seemed like they bonded over childhood tragedies. I heard his music before, on the radio, but I didn't know what he looked like. I was surprised when he told me who he was. Those people were always so happy. They have lots of fans and money. You don't ever picture them crying, and I never really saw him cry since then. So it must have been a really rare thing. He promised me that things would be okay. Said I'd find my family again. Sometimes you just have to wait. He told me all about his new family. He toured the world with awesome people. They all looked out for one another. That was exactly what I wanted in my life. I deserved better than I had. It wasn't my fault that my parents died. That's why why should I have to suffer for it? I was stupid and asked him to bring me. I wanted to have a family like that. He laughed and said he couldn't do that, but for some reason I didn't believe him. But he left the alley and I followed him. It was dark and I didn't want to be alone. He said he'd watch me until morning, but then he'd have to bring me somewhere. He was on tour and had to get going. That's the night I met Singe. He was so mad at Clace. He ditched his entire audience. Singe and Clace was just starting out. Said Clace was just starting out. He couldn't afford publicity like this. He needed a really good excuse. So Clace told him everything. How he met in the alley, how he needed help, even how we ended up crying together. The excuse was enough for Singe, but the audience needed a reason. They deserved to know what happened. I mean, they paid to see Clace after all. I'd be mad too if I wasted my money, especially if I had no idea why. Clace said that he'd be open. He'd tell them exactly what happened, plus it would come off as good PR. Stopping to help an orphan boy? Doesn't get any nicer than that. I remember getting into a big fight. Singe thought it wouldn't be good enough. Clace would have to do something more. That's when he decided to take me along, and it seemed really weird to me. Ooh, sorry. Got herbs. Was I just an excuse for the audience? Because a moment ago, he said no. I was both grateful and confused. It couldn't be worse than my last home. That's why I said he liked saving others. I don't know where I'd be otherwise. Maybe at another home, getting hit again. Those government programs don't even care. You're just a number that they want to lower. They put you almost anywhere they can. So I guess bro adopted me. It probably seems weird and sudden, but you'd understand if you were us. Two victims can connect on a deep level. You know exactly what their pain is like. I felt his, and he felt mine. But he was in a position to help, and I couldn't just turn him down, so I ended up going along. Singe made a statement to the media, also filed all the paperwork. The audience was very understanding, especially since they rescheduled the show. So, none of their money would go to waste. In the end, it seemed like everybody won. That's how I got involved in the tour. That was a few years ago now. Clace Shock Rocker got way more famous. That does make a lot of sense. Explains why Inumi thinks they're brothers. But I have to agree, it was a little odd. That's the first big life change for just one night. But I can't begin to assume what they felt. Perhaps, in the moment, it was the right thing to do. The world is full of weird stories like that. It only mattered that everybody was happy in the end. It was really cool to travel the world. I got to see all sorts of neat things. And I got to see how cool bro really was. The audience always cheered him. As soon as he stepped out on stage. I wanted to be like that one day too. I looked up to him. He taught me so much. He even helped me get homeschooling done. I still have to graduate, like everyone else. But I had a big family, happy family, just like I always wanted. Well, except for when Singe is mad. He laughs softly, and I do as well. One sec. Bro even taught me how to write properly. I was finally at the level I should have been, so I started to write letters to my parents. I knew that they'd never get them, but it made me feel happy either way, like I was actually talking to them. I remembered the letters my foster dad ruined, but this time they were perfect, just like my parents would have wanted. And I taped and ripped the picture together. I keep it framed by my bed all the time. I say goodnight to them in heaven. Clace always said that I'd see them again, but I can look forward to seeing him too. Well, there'll be one happy family up there. Until then, I'll write to him as well. He walks away and goes back to the wall. He resumes his math after pulling out the chalk, so that's the story of how they all got together, and I guess how they all got pulled apart. He told me he was studying, but he definitely wasn't. I saw the equation, and I knew what he was doing. Quantum physics. So young. But I wasn't about to call him out on his bluff. Saw the equation. Especially after he opened up to me like that. So, I wish him good luck, and I start to leave. Look at the time on my phone. Almost midnight. The battle for the Ark would soon come to a close. Knowing that, I walk back the way I came. Must have talked to everyone here by now. Acheron mentioned Daz and Sin somewhere or elsewhere. I hope they were okay, since times are tough. Speaking of tough times, something catches my eye. There's a chalk drawing on the wall beside me. It's a picture of Inumi and Clace holding hands. Oh. Text underneath it reads, "I miss you, bro." It's the last thing I'd see before I leave him behind. No, that wasn't a true ending? Okay. So let's see. Somehow we got Rook scene even though we're -1. Let's see. Rocker. So, would Rocker be alive if I chose something else? I don't know. I should probably make my way back to Acheron. It was almost midnight. He'd almost won. Rio? I think it's Rio. Was sure to appear, so I wanted to be there. I need to get to Terra and end this for good. I didn't run into anybody on my way back. Perhaps they branched out in search for food? For a moment, I wonder where Jade was. Jade. The bird. Acheron didn't mention her. She must have been with Singe. Maybe Rio would know what happened to me earlier. If he was giving up the Ark, I need some answers now. And there was a chance I might never see him again. Turn a few corners and arrive back where I started. Take a deep breath before I enter the room. Fingers crossed, this might be the final opportunity to get some answers. Enter the room and see Acheron stand there. Okay. He's staring at his pocket watch, counting down the time. All of his hard work was about to bear fruit. He turns around and gives me a wide smirk. As midnight approached, it would be clear that he won. How would he close all the doors just to be sure? You know? Because this is a story. It's hard to believe that this is all coming to a close. So, this is it, huh? Take down the corrupt leader of Armstrong, become the ruler of both life and death. All in a day's work, it would seem. He laughs like it was all so easy. And maybe it was, at least to him. He was one of the smartest men I ever met. Or would cunning be a better word? Well, I'm sure that many words would describe this man, but soon enough, he'd be the Ark's new master. At least he'd be more open with me than the last one. Just under a minute now. I'd love to see the look on Max's face. If it wasn't karma, it was me. This is a lesson long in the making. You hear about killing to seize power, but death is not always the answer. She bastardized our parents' tenets. Progression through protection. They'd be ashamed of her rulership. Max in the Ark would be a disaster. Her philosophy is proof of that. She'd usher in a new dark age. I feel like you're putting a bit on her, but you know what? Let's just finish this thing. I didn't do this just for me. I did this to save the world from suffering. You could say I'm a savior too. Hey, don't let that go to your head, guy. I know you're gonna have cosmic godlike powers, but keep a level head. I do what my parents always wanted. I'd make this world a better place. Place where I'm proud to be an Armstrong. Looks at his pocket watch one more time. I can tell by the look on his face, they were close. Time to see if this was worth fighting for. Press my back against the wall and ready myself. I've experienced this enough to know what it feels like. Acheron remained still, standing tall and proud. I guess in his mind, he had nothing left to fear. Right. I scream out in agony and clutch my chest. I expect to feel pain, but this is still too much. But it's still so much. In my disbelief, the Acheron is unaffected. He stands there, fists clenched, panting heavily. I could see he withstand so much pain. How could he withstand so much pain? Look in his eyes and spot a faint glisten. Perhaps it would be best if I do what he did and sat up straight and focus on my breathing. We stand there, united, both waiting for Ryo. Oh yeah, this could be Ryo, I guess. I feed off this energy until I no longer feel suffering. Yo. Congratulations, Archon. You've won, Acheron. He turns to me and smiles softly. It's nice to see you, Dark. I knew you wouldn't be too far behind. Acheron and I exchange glances, as if waiting. So, what happens next? I'm sure there's lots to teach me. That would be an understatement. We have lots to talk about together, but I have to talk to Dark as well. Do you think we could go back to the Ark? I feel safer discussing things there, and I'd like to see my home one last time. Look at Acheron, and he nods. I see no problem granting Ryo his request. Also, I've heard that we are the Triumvirate. For those, though granted, I think this is going to come out before that thing comes out. Or at least we're an incarnation of it. I probably should have said spoilers, but I was like, hey, we're all together. It's not like things would get any differenter than normal. Thank you very much. I know that this time he asks us for permission. Definitely different from the Ryo I first met. It was nice to know that we finally had saying things. Almost like we completed some rite of passage. I have a question though. One last thing before we go. Of course. What is it? You can see a lot from the Ark, right? You have a grasp on what we're all doing? If you're observant enough, yeah. It's a skill that you hone in time. Do you know what happened to Max? If Senj and Daz are safe? Rest assured, your plan succeeded. That's why I'm visiting you now. Max is behind bars. Everyone is safe. How did they get her behind bars, like, within 24 hours? She has the time gear. Good. It'd have to take her by surprise when she thought she was winning or something. I don't know. Ooh, sorry. Let's hope she doesn't escape. Are you taking the power away from her? I think I'll let her keep it, actually. What? She'll be in prison for her whole life. And all it would do is elongate her sentence. I doubt she'll make use of it at all. Besides, control of time means nothing. Especially not when you're a prisoner. I know the feeling all too well. She can use the power to try and escape, but it will only drive her insane. Freedom will always just be out of reach. I wouldn't worry too much about her. I don't know. You'd think that if you could just stop time or something like that, you could get out of any prison. Like if you're behind the bars in your jail cell, no, maybe. But if you're out in the yard, it wouldn't be too hard to flee. Wouldn't too much about her. She's useless where she is. That's probably what you wanted anyway. Acheron nods, showing no facial expression. I'm unsure how he is taking this information. But if I could... Fuck. I'm losing my powers. But if I could take a guess, I'm sure he was happy. Well then, shall we go? I can't suspend places for long, remember? And you don't want to be trapped here. Be trapped like this. We all agree, and away to travel to the Ark. But I tell Rio that I want some answers too. It was more than a little confused at recent events. Yes, of course you'll get answers. There's nothing left for me to hold back. All of our plans have come to fruition. Okay, but what about those sword guys? What does he mean by our plans? He was playing at something too. Both of you, close your eyes. When you open them, you'll witness change. And the gears will make their final turn. I close my eyes and keep them tightly shut. It isn't long before we're taken to the Ark. I don't even have to open my eyes. I know the feeling. It's almost like this place was my second home. But if everything was truly coming to an end, this might be the last chance I get to see it. I have to make sure that I leave with satisfaction. The true nature of everything had to be revealed. Take a deep breath before I open my eyes. I think that might be a good time to call it. As we get to the Ark. And Max was ended. So anyways, that's the end of this Let's Play. So comment, cause I like comments, tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to help it grow. And please remember spaying your animals to help control the pet population. And until next time, I'll say, GamerWolfSix of Major Minor. See ya.